Hey guys. All right, so I'm pretty excited for today's lesson, and we have some nice things on the menu. So far, we've worked on the fundamentals. Again, mini bishops, colors, harmony, light and dark. Uh, when you lose a bishop, build mini bishops. Bishop for knight. What happens to bishop for knight? If you lose a bishop, you, you lose that color, but you get a knight. You're actually investing in the other color. Bishop 1,000 of each color. A knight is $500 a light and $500 a dark. Okay, so knight has dual light dark. You could actually gain a color by losing a bishop. You're gaining light bishop for a knight. You're losing light but gaining dark. And losing a dark, trading a dark bishop for a knight, you're losing dark but gaining light. So again, there's dynamics: when to invest, when not to. Well, that's complicated. That's what we're going to be seeing these games, and what I'm working on. What we'll be working on here is to make is to kind of go through each lesson. I hope to go through either one or two games, depending on the length of the world champions and some of the also greatest players of chess history, starting from the 1800s. Maybe we'll actually tickle a little before as well, but for now, I think I want to start from the 1800s. And I'm picking games from Richard Reddy. Richard Reddy was one of the greatest players in the early 1900s. He has a bunch of he has a book called Masters of the Chessboard, and he picks a lot of amazing games. And I'm handpicking some of those out, which really show the color themes. So it's kind of cool to see how the great players in chess history have used, from over the course of time, have used color ideas in their games. Now I'm going to address one thing, which we don't have to go into detail or even have a definitive answer, but I've been asked, do these players, are they using colors, or is it just we're explaining them using colors, but were they thinking of these? And I think it depends. Some of them, I think in general, they were thinking about it, but subconsciously, mostly subconscious. Their extreme talent and extreme dedication and work brought out the color. Their moves were filled with color themes and genius color themes. They didn't necessarily even think in these terms or know it like that. They just didn't. They didn't need it. They had the talent. They had the best. We're ordinary people, and our goal is to become the best, or to become, certainly as strong as we can be. And I think thinking in terms of colors can help take that genius from those games into our own, and to crystallize these ideas, the beauty and the inspiration, and put it in a form that we could really use. Okay. And we'll be talking more about this as we go. All right, here we go. This is a game of Adolf Anderssen. He was extreme. He was at the time of Paul Morphy. This is 1862. Right around one of Morphy's contemporaries. He had some great games. I think the Evergreen game or the Immortal game. We may put those in. We may look at those. I'm not sure, but this game I was really impressed with, and it's beautiful color base. Let's see it. All right, we'll see it from black side. Adolf Anderssen against Jacob Rosanes. Not sure who that is. Surely a strong player. Okay, e4, e5. Pawn on light and pawn on dark. Dark brick, light brick, and dark brick. Again, remember, pawns are bricks. Pieces are builders. Okay, and here we are. F4. F4 is the king's gambit. Tickling the pawn. Tickling. And there's very aggressive play in the center. Attacking the dark. Attacking the dark, but also weakening the dark. In chess, is like, often my students will ask, Is that weakening? Is that weakening dark? It's attacking dark, but it's weakening dark. And the answer is it's a little both. And sometimes we say, is it a brick? Is it a strength, a brick in our Dacha? Or is it a bug, an insect, a weakness in the Dacha, in the summer home? And a little bit of both. It's weakening the king side a little bit, but it's also fighting for the king side. Often, you play sharp and it has many moves. If not every move has some pros and cons, a little of both. All right, here we are. So f4 is a king's gambit, one of the most aggressive openings in chess, maybe the most aggressive. All right, d5. This is the fork bear king's gambit declined, where black does not take the pawn. It's called the fork bear counter gambit. Okay, so instead of taking, black is saying, hey, you're messing around in the side of the board, the flank, I will respond in the center. Okay. Good theme. Attack on the wing should be met by a counter strike in the center. And that's what black's doing. Conceptually, color-based. White's attacking on dark. Black is striking back on light. Black is saying, what about light? Answer me on light. Okay, let's see what he does. White says, whatever, I'm taking. If you're black here, now here's the thing. If you're black, what's a natural move? You just take back. Natural but terrible. Natural but terrible. That's the thing in chess. You can make natural moves, but they're just terrible. So you go here, and then the knight comes out. And then what? And then you go here, and then the knight comes out. Attacks the queen. Then you win a pawn. You're all happy. But then he attacks us again. And then you get attacked again. It's like a never-ending horror scene. And then you attack again. Just showing examples of what happens if you just take back without inspiration, without developing, without colors. And it's pretty wild. It's kind of funny actually. You go check, and then mate. All right, fine. Fair enough. All right, so here we are. So this knight's queen takes is not what was played, and the queen should not be out that early like this. So instead, he plays e4. Look at this, clamping down, saying this pawn will come later. I don't want this pawn. I don't want to give up the center. I'd rather get a grip in the center here and eventually pick up this pawn. Black is also hoping to attack on the diagonal. Okay. Check. A few ways to play here. White, the fight is right now on light. I think it's fair to say the pawn's on light. There's play here on light. A lot of play on light for now. Good block with the bishop, but sometimes the tactical way, when the position is developing and his king is not developed, we have more space in the center. Our king is gonna be safer than his probably. We're gonna pitch a pawn. Pawns don't matter that much, and he plays c6. The pawns do not matter that much as the attack. Okay. This is a really tactical game, and talk about colors in a tactical game seems a little strange. Like what? They're tactics. It's not positional. It's not colors. But no, tactics and positional, like we said, are all interfused, all intertwined. It's always coming from colors. Sometimes we use colors in a slower way. That's positional, quote-unquote positional. Sometimes in a more fierce way. That's tactical. But again, that's tactical. But it's all color dynamics, because that's just the rules of chess. How pieces move. The colors are just there. That's the core. All right, he takes. We take back. Take with a knight. Okay, activating the knight. Goes knight c3, attacking the pawn. Fighting on light. Knight f6 seems fine. Developing. Protecting the pawn and maybe getting the bishop ready to tickle more on light. Okay. Queen e2. Now white is intent on winning that pawn. Not developing though. I mean, the queen doesn't really count much as development. And look at white's pieces. They're bottled up. This knight can't move that easily. The bishop's bottled. The king is in the center. Let's see what black does. Bishop c5, ignoring the pawn. And saying, hey, I don't need the pawn. I'm going to castle, and I'm out for an attack. Interesting. He takes the pawn. And now black simply castles. Beautiful. If white takes the bishop, you guys could pause and think of what will black do here? Why can't white take the bishop? And the answer is rook e8 will win the queen. Okay, here we are. Rook 8 wins the queen, pin it and win it. Again, we're seeing how Blight's king is in the center. It's all Mishka bobbled, and there's a problem here. Okay, white takes the knight. You know why he takes the knight? Because now it's not pinned anymore. Now the knight's going to pop in. There's a lot of issues. The rook coming to pin. The knight coming to give a taste of his own medicine. The bishop was attacking on light. Left unattended, the knight will make the bishop into into whatever. But into his whatever. But the knight will take over the light squares, and how the mighty have fallen. The bishop is not the main influencer on the light. It's the knight that will dominate. So Blight says, "No, let me take that bishop, the knight." But now, what happens with the color money? Let's do the math. The light bishop for the knight. White gives up light, but gains dark. So we're black here again. We're gaining light. We're losing a knight for a bishop, so we're gaining 500 light, but losing 500 dark. Okay. Okay. Again, losing 500 dark because now he has a knight versus our light bishop. The reality is the light bishop is so strong. I think it's a great investment for black. Again, the light bishop by itself, unopposed bishop, is called a golden bishop. It's worth its weight in gold. Let's look how black uses a light bishop and the bishop pair. D3, what is white trying to do? Develop the bishop, but more. He's trying to build a... Pause here for a moment. He's trying to build mini light bishop, but you lose a bishop. Rebuild. Again, white's king is terrible. He's trying to do his best to rebuild. Rook e8, absolutely tickling. What color is he hitting on? Of course, the king, queen, but this knight. What color on knight? Coincidence? Absolutely not, because we have extra light money and a golden light bishop. Bishop d2 is trying to castle. The moment is so valuable. How do you evaluate such a... How do we find... How do we know what to do here in such a position? I think it's just... You just got to attack. You got to attack. Knight takes, opens him up. Sometimes calling the bluff and saying, listen, you don't have enough. And hitting on light. And now the next move is so beautiful. This pawn is on light. But who owns light? Who deserves light? Who deserves it? Dig deep. Do you deserve it? If you're black, do you know you have a golden bishop? Well, it's important to know. Do you appreciate it? Appreciate it. And then once we appreciate it, then we say, that on light, that pawn's mine. Whenever we have a golden bishop, every pawn or anything on that color, saying we say, hey, we deserve, that's mine. How do we tickle that pawn? Maybe take a moment here, pause here please for a moment. How do we attack this pawn? Use our bishop. Appreciate our bishop. And the answer is bishop f5. Tickling, beautiful move. Hitting hard on light. If he takes, of course he loses the queen. It's too expensive. He has to push, and now the bishop is shooting right in. He doesn't take the pawn though. Look, he doesn't take the pawn. Doesn't need it. Instead, he says, you know what? I want to attack on dark. Attack more. Attack on dark and attack on light is attacking the knight, so he's forcing white to castle. But now, look, he's under fire from every which way. Bishop d4, hitting on light, but now even hitting on dark. What's the math? Well, the math is that white's ahead on dark. Why? I know it doesn't seem that way, but I just want to address the nuance of just the math. The math, look at the imbalance. The knight versus light bishop is the imbalance, which means the light bishop 1,000 light, the knight is 500, 500. That means white's ahead on dark, mathematically. But practically, it doesn't play. The knight's too far away, and the queen is already primed. So that's why if you don't develop your pieces, color money won't help you. It will all go against you. And black, look at black's attack. Bishop d4 And he has two ways to fight back. You go here or here. Both of them are really risky. I think if here, there's just... I think actually if here, the game's immediately over. Yeah, this is actually a good position. Black to play. Incredible. What does black play? Black to play and I think just win on the spot. Yeah, just win on the spot. It's over. The answer is Queen c5. Threatening mate using the light, but also threatening this. So then there's no defense. The next move is mate. Check. Okay, check. I guess you could somehow escape that one. Yeah, but then rook d8. It's just so brutal. It's just so brutal. There's no way. And then you're literally getting mated. You can do anything, right? Just bishop back. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Okay, okay. Bishop back. You have to give the queen. And take, and then queen b2 mate. Nice little mate. Beautiful mate. All right, here we are. So, let's go back to the game. And bishop f5 was played. Queen b6. He plays c3 again, but look at the Swiss cheese losing the pawn. c2 pawn was hanging on. It was a tiny mini bishop of its own, helping on light. Each pawn is a little bit of light. When you move that pawn, the bishop is even ever more powerful. How do we build up? Rook b8, bring in new pieces. He goes up. And now, rook d8, building up pressure, more and more pressure. He goes here, and now, absolutely incredible knockout. This is the golden bishop, and this is a moment where we could pause and black to play. Again, I want you guys to dig really deep and to believe in this light bishop. Anything on light is yours. If you believe it, it will happen. And it will come to fruition. Black to play and breakthrough on light. And it's a move that's hard to find, but I think using colors and appreciating our golden bishop can help us find these beautiful ideas. If you want to pause here, try to find. And the move is incredible. Queen takes pawn. Absolutely incredible. Looking to mate. He, of course, has to take, and rook takes is over. Rook takes is going to be mate. Mate. What color is the mate going to be on? Light. Absolutely light. Coincidence? Of course not. Only move, bishop e1. If we check, he escapes. But that's why this rook, mysterious rook d8, improving every piece. That's why he played it a few moves ago. Every piece involved. And the knockout blow, if you want to take a moment to find it. Bishop e3 was played. Again, gives up the bishop, and white resign. Literally next move, no matter what happens, you can block it. You go here, you can take. Any move is met with rook b1, mate. Here, mate. And here, mate. Again, the mate is what color? The bishop on dark was the henchman to make the golden bishop work. The mate was on light. Coincidence? No. And that's important to think in these terms of colors, and we can get some really artistic and beautiful ideas. The golden bishop, a sacrificing game, but the colors were at work the whole time. All right, this was one game, and why don't we see one more for today? One more I wanted to see. And here we are. And okay, this was a game with Morphy. Okay, here we are. White to play. White to, yeah, this is Morphy, and we're white here. This was a blindfold simul. Poor Morphy versus NN. Not sure the name. New Orleans, Louisiana. In 1858. The previous game was 1862. This is 1858. Around the same time. D4. Knight f3. Kind of go through it fluidly here. Just kind of a little quicker, but still want to see the ideas. Bishop c4, bishop c5, both fighting in the center. It's b4. This is an Evans gambit. Wild gambit. One would think, Evans gambit. What colors? What colors? No, always color ideas. b4. He's trying to get their bishop away from the center and get a tempo. White's trying to build in the center. All right. Again, you cannot take because it's pinned. So you got a castle. And Black's have a couple pawns, but look at White's king. Again, this is a romantic era where attacks, everything was about attacking and development. Morphy really was the foremost pioneer of how important development was over material. And here we see example. Down a couple pawns, big attack. d6. Okay, trying to build a mini bishop against the bishop. Queen b3 is tickling on light. Knight h6. Knight on the rim. On the side of the board, knight on the rim is grim. Expression I like, knight on the rim is grim. You usually don't want to put knights in the side, but it doesn't have much choice. Okay, knight takes. Trying to get to the center. He takes. Now, Black was afraid of this knight. He takes. Understandable. Can't blame him. But here's the thing. When Black loses the dark bishop, what color do we come ahead on? Let's see. Bishop for knight. What's the math? We're giving up 500 for 1,000 dark. So as white, we're gaining dark. Losing light. Okay, keep that in mind. We're losing light. Gaining dark. Fair enough. This bishop has now been elevated to the status of... You guys want to pause? Remember what it's called? Status of golden bishop. Okay. Unopposed bishop. Golden bishop. It's trying to... And we're looking at these... Every dark square eyeing hungrily at those dark squares. Alright, let's see it. He castles. Rook d1. Building up. Every piece should be involved. Tickling... Trying to break through. Okay. Knight g4. He's trying to get his knights in the center. Fair enough. He kicks him. No problem. Kick. He stays in the center. Trades. Bishop back. He wants to keep his bishops. No problem. Alright. f5. F5 aggressive. Opening lines. But you know what? Instead of f5, you know what could have been a little better? What he had to do. He's missing the dark bishop, so f5 is not it. If you guys want to pause, what might have been a better pawn move than f5? To rebuild the missing bishop. How do you rebuild the missing bishop? Answer is mini bishops. f6! Maybe not right away, maybe yes, I don't know. Maybe first bishop e6 to protect the light squares, then f6? Again, there's a lot of attack, though. I don't know. But maybe f6 right away, and the knight goes back. And that's how modern players play. And the idea is that the mini bishops, that's the idea, rebuilding. He does not. He plays f5 and f4, pushing the knight away. Check on light. But who's the real piece doing the action? You guys remember my game against Carlsen, the golden bishop, and the same golden bishop, Bishop Boy 2. All right, here we are, raking the board, the golden bishop, and the queen acts as a second dark square bishop. And here we are. Queen e7 protects the pawn, but barely. Rook e1, and now, if pawn takes, there'll be rook takes, dislodging the queen. Again, eyeing that pawn. He would end up losing, I think, if queen here, bishop e6. He just couldn't hang on to the pawn there, and then what? Then it's like, then you just take the bishop. It's terrible. You just lose everything. Yeah, you lose everything. All right, so rook e1, a great move. He's trying to block the energy with a rook. It's not a good way to block it, but you attack the queen. Dark, of course. Dark. And now it's a beautiful moment. I want you guys to pause. How do we break through? It's a beautiful combination. One can find this through studying combinations, and we're looking at it closely and trying ideas. And that's all good, and it's important to do combinations. And I want you guys all to work in combinations. I would even say do a lot of easy ones. It's helped me, it's helped my students. Very easy ones, do a lot of them. You build build the subconscious. But along with that, think of colors. And here, we're ahead on dark. This queen is holding on dark. He has no moves. The king has no moves. Any check will be the last check. Could be the last check. How do you break through on dark? It's an incredible moment. And the answer is rook e8, dislodging the queen. He has to take. And then, what's the move here? Queen takes rook. It's over. If he takes, it's mate. Mate on the board. On dark. Is it a coincidence? Of course not. No coincidence. Queen takes. Queen. He tries to trade queens. Tries to trade. Look at this. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. He takes, and then f6. F6. The pawn is the next queen. Better than a queen. He's gonna mate him. The pawn's a runaway pawn. He goes here, just makes a new queen, and it mates. So what does he? He moves. He takes. If you go the queen here, you push again. Check. And then here, it doesn't matter. You just keep on push. You're gonna push again. And then here. And then here. And then mate. Look at this. The bishop raking on the dark. And then the light bishop is helping out on light. And pawns on light. Aggressive mini bishop on light. Okay. Absolutely incredible. He takes the queen. Okay, he takes. He tries to salvage, and he gives up the bishop. And then suddenly he's not mated, but he's down too much. Rook g1, and now again the pawn's going anyways, and it's gonna be mate. It's a pretty mate. We can see how it might play out. Check. Check. The final blow. Mate on dark, and not a coincidence. Absolutely not. And those are some interesting games for today. So we saw the first, both games of bishop pair, golden bishop. The bishops work together very nicely. Some really violent approach using the golden bishop, digging deep. So I think today's lesson we can really quantify it as some old school chess, how they used the colors back in the day, the Romantic era, but and particularly the intensity, the faith they put in their golden bishops, and how they respected it and dug deep to find ideas. So I would challenge you guys, try to appreciate when you have a golden bishop and see what you could do. Find some magic, and yeah, put into the Discord some games of golden bishop. Anyone who has a nice game with a golden bishop, that would be awesome to put that in and to share. All right, it was a pleasure. See you guys soon.